Minister, to ask you to report on the number of social and affordable houses that are being completed in Cavan and Monaghan under this government's mandate, and to detail how you plan to enable local authorities to accelerate the provision of housing in the two counties, considering that the Housing Commission recently reported need for additional local authority housing of between 12 and 15,000 in Cavan. I think it was something between 9 and 11 in Monaghan.
Two together. And in Cavan, 309 social homes were delivered through build, acquisition and lease since the formation of government to the end of Q2 of this year, of which 216 of them were new build, and during the same period 41 affordable homes were delivered. In Monaghan, 485 social homes were delivered through build, acquisition and lease, again since the formation of this government to the end of Q2 2024, and of them 353 were new build homes, and during the same period 33 affordable homes were delivered. The Q2 Social Housing Construction Standards Report shows both local authorities have very strong pipelines, and between them they have 660 new build social homes either on site or at design and procurement stages. A central element to the government's housing plan, Housing for All, is to build institutional capacity, and as part of the measures to support increasing that capacity, Housing for All commits to strengthen the resources within local authorities, and it's doing that to both programme manage, initiate, design, plan, develop and manage housing projects, and recognises that this requires the resourcing of the housing services of our local authorities. Both Cavan and Monaghan received sanction to fill additional posts. They received the sanction to fill what they looked for. Additional resources were also allocated to the Housing Agency Project and Procurement Office to support those local authorities and approved housing bodies deliver housing. Actually, I've visited on a number of occasions Cavan and Monaghan, been very struck in particular with both local authorities with the work they've done in relation to conversion of vacant properties. If I take Fermanagh Street in Clones as well in Monaghan, exceptional work that has been done there. Seniors housing that has been delivered. The completion of and the build out of what were previously ghost estates or unfinished estates. And I've been in your constituency a number of times, Deputy, to view additional homes, but I would like to commend both of those local authorities for the work that they're doing. We are providing the resources for them to do more. As I responded to Deputy Violet Ann Wynne, I'd expect there will be additional asks of our local authorities to deliver more social homes 2025-26 to the end of the decade. And last year we built more new social homes than we've done in 50 years. That's not to say everything is resolved. Of course it's not. There is certainly more that needs to be done in that space. Progress is being made. We want to step that up further. And I'm actually very confident because of the excellent people that I've met on the ground in your own constituency, both the local authority staff themselves, to excellent housing teams and excellent management teams from the local authorities that are really innovating on their delivery. And from our larger towns in Cavan and Monaghan to our smaller villages, I see social housing being delivered right the way across. And of course we want to scale it up further, and we'll do that. But as I said, we'll continue to work very closely with our local authorities, with our approved housing bodies as well, that are a very important deliverer of social housing. Some deputies in this House, not you, I'm not casting aspersions on yourself, would actually question affordable housing, approved housing body delivery, that it's some way a different type of social home. I can tell you that when I see the excellent homes that are built through AHBs and local authorities to the highest of standards, and you meet the families who are getting the keys for their homes for life, what a difference that actually makes for them. But we do need to do more, and we will do more, and I'm confident that we can.
Thank you, Minister. Minister, maybe when you come back to me, you will give me a little bit more detail on the affordable housing and how that was delivered, because my understanding of the last meeting I had with the County Council in Cavan, they hadn't delivered any affordable housing. Was that being delivered through an approved housing body, or is it by the Council themselves? And by the way, I'm not critical at all of approved housing bodies. I think they do absolutely excellent work. But I mean, we have quite a significant number of people on the housing list or in receipt of housing supports. In Cavan, for example, there's over 1,900 people either in receipt of HAP. Not all of them are on the social housing list, but many of those who aren't but are receiving HAP cannot afford to rent at the current prices. They can't save for a deposit. They just feel like they're in no man's land. They need affordable housing, a large-scale affordable housing scheme where that they can purchase or rent at affordable prices. We have many other people who are not in receipt of HAP because they're living at home with parents, or they're sofa surfing among friends because they cannot find anywhere that will actually accept HAP. And even if they did, the rents are so sky high they couldn't afford it, and the council wouldn't approve it anyway.
With regard to the affordable housing delivery, and I've encouraged all local authorities, 21 local authorities across the country have come forward with their own affordable schemes. We've other affordability measures. You mentioned the difficulties renters have in saving. That's why the Help to Buy grant is so critically important and applies to self-built homes as well. I know your housing spokesperson isn't here anymore, but that's a scheme that he'd get rid of. The First Home scheme, which helps self-builds as well, he'd get rid of it as well. And I know, in fairness, some of your colleagues regularly asking me parliamentary questions about how we can improve and extend the existing schemes that are there. So in your own constituency, Deputy, I put this on the record, through the First Home scheme in Cavan County Council, 23 homes have been delivered through the First Home scheme. In Monaghan, 15 through the First Home scheme. So there are 38 families in your constituency that have a home now that wouldn't have if Sinn Féin were in government. The vacant property grant, again, which is a vacant property grant that Sinn Féin said they'd restrict, 15 in County Cavan, drawn down, 13 in Monaghan, 28 homes, 66 in total. And on top of that, actually, we look at the cost rental tenants in situ of further 8 homes. So they're the affordable homes that have been delivered already, but I want the local authorities to bring forward their own schemes too.
The vacant property grant I fully support, and so does my party, but we would change it. We wouldn't scrap it, as you continually try to say. We would change it, we would make it better. And the First Home scheme you're talking about there drives up the price of housing. We know that. Just in relation, can I bring up the tenant in situ scheme? Because I believe, now maybe my figures are incorrect, and I'll happy if you would correct them, but I believe there's only been 3 in Cavan and 5 in Monaghan. And I know I have people who have come to me who are in a house renting, the house goes up for sale, they're in negotiation, hoping that, that the council will buy the house, the council are willing to buy the house, and next thing, all negotiations stop, they don't know why, they get no explanation. I've sought explanation and answers from yourself, and they don't provide them, and that's very frustrating for people, because people want to know if there's issues around the house that could be resolved very easily, and we'll be willing to do that, that you should be given that opportunity to do it. But, Minister, housing is affecting everything in life. I mean, we heard today that we have 1,000 primary school teachers, shortage of 1,000 primary school teachers, for example. Many of them are leaving, and the reason they're leaving is they can't afford to live here, and the main reason for that is the cost of housing.
Thanks. And to try to be helpful, Deputy, just to say that I'll get you the exact tenants in situ purchases. I've given you the cost rental tenants in situ in your constituency has been 8. So I can confidently tell you that the tenants in situ will be substantially higher than that. I think last year that we purchased over 1,800. We'll do more than that this year, and certainly in your own constituency, it's substantially higher than you've said. But I'll get you the figures. So I would say this though, that in relation to the vacant property grant, that your party provided for no funding for that in your alternative budget, and also it brought forward a cap on salaries for people who could access it too. So I'm glad you support it, and I respect the fact people want to change, but it's actually working. We've had over 11,000 applications to it. But look, to get back to the affordable housing piece, I would encourage all local authorities who've yet to bring forward affordable housing schemes of their own delivery to do so as well. But the affordable housing that we've been able to deliver in Cavan and Monaghan has been delivered through the First Home scheme and the vacant property grant, with the assistance of the Help to Buy grants. And I will get you the figures on the tenants in situ and send them to you. I don't have them here to hand.